Howdy people. So, classic photography video, what's in my camera bag? And before I forget, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And yeah, so this is a Manfrotto bag. No idea what model it is. It's an okay bag. I'm looking at upgrading the bag, but it's done me well so far. The reason I'm upgrading is it doesn't really fit a 16-inch MacBook Pro. I got this when I had a smaller laptop, so it's a little bit of an issue for me at the moment. Speaking of MacBook Pro, 16-inch MacBook Pro, it's been through the wars with me. I need to go to Apple to get repaired, but this thing has been my workhorse. We've travelled worldwide with this, done Japan, done Europe. Love it. M2 Max, 32 gig, 1 TB hard drive. Not looking at upgrading at the moment. The only thing that's tempting me on the M4 range is the nano texture like matte screen, which would be nice for traveling, but it's not something I necessarily need. I normally upgrade every 4 to 5 years, so that's way too soon for me to be looking at an upgrade. And it doesn't matter what I'm doing. If I'm like editing videos, editing photos, doing full-on composites, I can't actually make the fans turn on that thing. So I'm not gonna need one. I need a new one. DJI Mic 2s. Really enjoying these. A little bit of a rattle because the rest is hooked up to the phone. These have been amazing. Love using them on my camera and on my phone. If I'm doing video content, I've discovered I actually prefer to use my phone a lot of the times. I am a photographer by trade, getting into video, learning video. I need to sit down and play with my camera and actually get the correct video settings. The last time I tried to upload a YouTube video, and the reason I haven't is the raw footage was 200 gigs. And I just don't want to sit there trying to edit that. So at the moment, I'm really enjoying using my phone. But if I need to use my actual camera for like paid gigs or whatever, where they're editing the videos and editing the footage, it has a adapter, so I can just plug the audio cable in. So it works for both. It works for iPhone. It's got Lightning in here, and it's got USB-C. Really good. One of the best purchases I made this year. And also works with my drone, which I've not put in here because I've only used like 3 times this year, so I don't really want it to be a representation. This is the stuff that like every time I'm traveling, every time I'm working, I always have this. Lacy tough hard drive. This is a hard drive, not an SSD. I'd edit photos off of this, but I wouldn't edit video off of this. This is just mainly for on-site backups, so I'll do on-site backup and then 2 cloud location backups if I'm out working. Then when I'm home, I update to my Synology NAS, which is like hooked up via the wireless. Bunch of cables. So normally I will have my actual laptop charger in here, but it's being used for, it's just plugged in, I haven't undone it, and my camera battery charger. Both, that is being used, that's charging spare batteries at the moment. So I then have got Apple Watch charger, because I'm an Apple Watch person. Then I've got 1 lightning cable and 2 USB-C cables, so I can charge my phone and use the hard drive at the same time. And then my work phone, which is iPhone 13 Pro Max, is still lightning. So basically, whenever I upgrade phones, so I've recorded this on 16 Pro Max, so that's my new phone. So then my old phone becomes my work phone. So my work phone is always a little bit behind, but I'm normally only using this to see phone calls and stuff. But it just means I've still got iMessage. I've still got a relatively useful camera, and I'm normally only a couple of generations out on my upgrades. So it's relatively new. So a lot like the features I need, it's always going to have. Peak Design pouch. So this is just like a pouch that's left over, like after you buy Peak Design stuff. I use it to keep in the fluffy caps for the microphones. I've got one on here, and just other miscellaneous rubbish, basically. I just keep it all pouched in there. USB-C and USB chargers. I don't use the USB chargers on here, but often people I'm traveling with need one, and we're often like fighting over plugs. So this just means that I could plug something in and they could use the plug too. You know, be that friend. This is normally on my phone, but it won't work on there at the moment. So this is the Moft tripod. So you use it as a wallet, but you can also use it as a tripod if you're like videoing, or if you are doing like landscape, or you could do, I think I've seen them do something to like vlogging, holding out like that. I haven't done that personally. I think this is about £50 in the UK. I had it for a month or so. Really nice quality. Really liking it. And you can use it to watch film stuff on the plane, which I really like. But that's normally on my main phone. But I took it off for the recording. Spare Canon battery. I will normally have 3 of these. So one's charging on the charger, one's in the camera, one's spare in here. Just because I am paranoid of batteries dying. Subject of paranoid batteries. Rotolite. These are Rotolite batteries. The standard Sony somethings, NPF 555s, 550s. That's what Rotolite uses. I have Rotolite lights. I'm using one at the moment to light me. So I'll normally have a couple of the big ones, some of the small ones. So I'm all lit up. Card holder literally just has business cards. So I keep that on me to hand out because sometimes people like to pay business card. All of this has come in from this like top pouch. Godox trigger. This is the new X3 Canon edition. Triggers the Rotolite. I'm happy. Little small rig LED that I think is dead. That needs charging. And then AirPod Pro 2, 2nd gen. Wouldn't be without my AirPods. Often listening to music, podcasts, videos while editing. Just what I use. There's everything there. I'm an Apple person. I'm in the Apple ecosystem, so AirPods just make sense for me. Any Bluetooth headphones will do. Nothing in that pouch. I should know what's in my bag, but sometimes random stuff goes in there. Top of my camera. I am forever losing these to the point that I bought a load of spares. Camera. Canon R3. And let me just... There we go. Now the weather sealing's working. This is the Canon R3. I've had this since April, so I've not had it quite a year yet. Beast of camera. Absolutely love it. I'm often asked why I have an R3 instead of an R5. A lot of my work is under more dark situations, to do a lot of dark, moody photos, even though I'm using flash and stuff. So having that ability really helps me. I also don't do a significant amount of cropping. Also, Catholic churches and Jewish synagogues and just religious buildings in general are dark. So for wedding ceremonies, and then you've got the wedding like party in the evening, this works really well. Budget version, look into the R6. They have the same sensor. This is just better at speed with some like this could do shoot faster, but the sensor's the same from what I understand. This has been absolute beast. I love it. One minor complaint is there's no like attachment on the bottom. So I upgraded from an R5 Mark IV to this, and on the R5 I could use the Peak Design clutch, I think it's called, where it would attach underneath, and I can't use that with this. The R1's improved that. That's the only thing I sort of miss. I'm not the biggest strap person. I don't necessarily like things around my wrist, but I also acknowledge that I have an expensive camera that I don't want to drop or break. So, less of the two evils. Peak Design camera strap. Love Peak Design accessories. I've got so many of the Peak Design little taggy things around my house. I swear they are breeding and just making spares at this point, but absolutely amazing. 50mm 1.2 RF lens. This is my ride or die lens. I had it in the EF version, recently upgraded to this. 50mm is sort of the aperture, the focal range that I shoot at the most. So I love it. I will keep it wide open at 1.2, but I also like to stop it down. I think 2.6 is where it's sharpest. But if you've got the money, this is the lens that I would tell everyone to get. 50mm is that classic. I mean, the Nifty 50, every brand, doesn't matter who you're shooting, Canon, Sony, Nikon, everyone's got like a 50mm-ish. I think some are 55 or something, but everyone does a 50mm. There's a reason for it. For wider shots and for events, this is 15 to 35, 2.8. Love this lens. Wasn't like I expected to love as much as I did, but I've used this a lot. I've had some really interesting situations this year at some of the cosplay events and some events I've been to where I've been like in a prison cell and other really like close up and tight spaces. So that's really worked for me. Then 70 to 200, 2.8. So this is the first RF lens I bought because I broke my EF version. So it just seemed smart for me to replace that lens that was broken because I knew I needed to buy at least another EF version. So I just went for this. Lot more compact than the EF version, which I really like. Some people don't like its external zoom. Not an issue for me. I'm not typically shooting deserts, beaches, somewhere with a sandstorm. So it's not an issue I have. My biggest issue actually with this lens is I have two. If you look at the f4 version, you can zoom with the lens cap on. Because I like to keep the lens cap on so I don't lose the thing, but I don't always want to use the lens cap. This ring here that's shown, that's the focus ring, and then this is the programmable ring. On the f4 version, the ring that's here is the zoom ring, so you can unlock it and zoom it, but you can't on the 2.8. Tiny little detail, but it just annoys me a little bit. But I use the 2.8. Like I said, this is really good for weddings, really good as a portrait lens. It used to be a big portrait lens, the 70-200, and I think people transitioned over to the 85, 100mm macro, and the 135. But I still like this. I like a prime, but I like having zooms in my arsenal. They've come out with a new 70-200 that's still available. The new 70-200 allows you to use teleconverters, which this one doesn't, and it's internal zoom, and it's got the voice coil motor, I think it is, the VCM. So it's part of the video focus lens range, so it's meant to be a little bit quieter with the zooming. Again, as I don't really use my camera for video at the moment till I find out exactly what I need to be doing to not have giant file sizes. Not something I'm particularly worried about at the moment, but I'll look into that as and when I need to. But yeah, so that is everything that I normally will have in my bag for a shoot. They are my ride or dies for this year. I think the only thing that I've not put in there is, like I said, the drone. I haven't used it enough this year. I love it. I like having a drone. I need to use it more to see if it's worth it for me. But once I've got to that point where I figured out if it's actually a purchase I use enough, then hopefully it'll be in here next year. And then 2025, I'm planning on getting a lot more content out, like a lot. So wish me luck.